Hello, 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 and welcome. I'm Tom, joined by Anne. How you doing today? Oh, hang on. Oh no, audio issues already. There we go. How are you, Anne?
I am great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, all of a sudden the audio didn't come through on my end, and I couldn't hear a single thing because my headphones were being funny. God, I love
Well,
streaming sometimes. Sometimes
you can
tech just works.
you can run a stream with me without hearing what I'm saying.
I
It'd be
mean,
fun. You could just like give me generic responses occasionally and hope for the best.
mm, mm, yeah. No, you're right. You're right, Anne. Yeah. Mm. Joke's on you. I've not listened to a single word you've said since the start of this stream.
Not since February.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. The whole time. I have no idea. I've been calling you Ant this whole time. That's not your name.
Yeah, it's actually. Ah, I can't think of it. Why could I not think of any names in the moment?
Your brain is like, no, Ant is the only name in existence. Ant is the only name anybody can have, and is the only name I shall ever be known as.
Yeah.
Anyway, last week was special delivery. In fact, you know what? I'm going to pull up the uh, the base game from last week. Last week's game was special delivery. How did everybody find it?
Good. Very good. We had some surprising theme changes.
Mm-hmm.
We always have a lot of fun theme changes, but the odd there's the odd one that comes through. You're like, wow, I did not expect that, and I've actually just remembered another, which I'm going to very quickly sneak into your DMs because I'd be appalled at myself if I didn't include this. So carry on without me while I find
Go
this.
for it. I'm going to play the game real quick. So, we have this lovely drone that we're flying around and we're collecting boxes off of the conveyor belts and then putting the boxes onto the truck. But the trick is that the drone moves in a little bit of a wonky way. So, there's some wonky physics. There you go. I've dropped a box. I didn't manage to get the box. I dropped it and it fell down. But yeah, we fly around picking up those boxes and put them on the truck. And if we drop a box, it's game. You lose some points. In fact, it's not game over. You've got 90 seconds to see how many points you can get. But yeah, I was quite pleased with the drone animation. Somebody had drawn the drone asset previously for us, and I was like, "This is a perfect time to use it. Perfect time to use it." It looks pretty neat when flying around.
Yeah, I think the drone's always been a fun one.
For sure, for sure. Right. So let's start looking at some of these projects. So, if I remember correctly, now we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I think we I'm not sure. Well, actually, we talked about it, but I don't think we talked about it on stream. Got a couple of lads in one of the IRL clubs, a couple of brothers, and they love Star Wars, as do myself and Ant. So you know, we're suckers for anybody making their game sort of Star Wars themed or something like that. And these two brothers, so Stanley and Harvey, I think we look at. I think this first one. They always make their games Star Wars themed every single week. The two of them will go and make their games Star Wars themed. I absolutely love it. So the both of them have done a thing where you've got to fly like a TIE fighter, or I think this one's an X-wing in this one, to pick up some stormtroopers and put them down into either the Death Star or into like a loading bay type thing. In I just love the fact that every week without fail it is Star Wars themed every single
Hmm.
week. So we've got like, yeah, there you go. Got an X-wing, and we got to move them over here. Like every single week without fail, it's Star Wars themed. When we did Skeleton Scuffle, I think it was Chewie fighting Darth Maul, and I want to say like Rebels versus some Stormtroopers on Hoth or something like that. Like every single week, it's Star Wars themed, and I absolutely love it. And as we all
That's
know, Phantom Menace is the worst Star Wars film. Yeah, you heard me, Ant. Yeah, you heard me. I say these things just to hurt you.
Yeah, I don't have words because I'm aware I do not have a leg to stand on.
I like to hurt your feelings
I'm
unnecessarily.
just accursed with this bad taste.
We all.
As a YouTuber that you sent me said, I'm allowed to enjoy this bad film.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I shouldn't be so mean. I think there's too much. I think there's too much negativity in the Star Wars community. Star Wars is fun and is fundamentally for children. It doesn't have to be something overly complex. We can just enjoy it. We should all just enjoy it. You know?
Like these young coders.
Exactly, exactly. No, that's my point. That's my point. Like Star Wars can be fun. Star Wars is something where just you whack it into a game. Like every single week, just take a game, see if you can make it Star Wars themed. That is a fun. Like Star Wars should just be enjoyed. Likewise. So here we go. Here's the other one. I think this one's is Stanley's. So again, Star Wars themed Tie Fighters picking up picking up stormtroopers and putting them on the Death Star, putting them in the Death Star. So again, another Star Wars themed thing. I just love it that every week Star Wars in just some different way, and it's almost like a challenge to them to see how. Like every week we have a little back and forth in the first 5 minutes. Like how do we make it a Star Wars themed game? Like throwing out random ideas. It really stretches my Star Wars knowledge. I have to regularly rewatch the Star Wars films just to keep up with them.
That would absolutely be me at that age. Is just Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, for sure. I used to love Star Wars Lego. I still have somewhere in my parents' house just tons and tons of Star Wars Lego. Tons and tons of glorious Star Wars Lego. There's something so satisfying. It's one of the things I love about Scratch is when you put two blocks together and they just click into place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it reminds me a little bit of Lego. That's what draws me in.
The old Lego TIE Fighter, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Lego Naboo Starfighter, that was my childhood.
Lego X-Wing. I remember there being a Lego Millennium Falcon which was impossible to build. There was just one little thing that you couldn't quite see in the instructions. The one time Lego let me down.
I believe isn't that one of their largest sets these days? Is the Lego Millennium Falcon?
I think this was one of the older ones that was a little bit smaller.
Oh right.
I always wanted as a child the AT-AT Walker, the AT-AT Walker, but it was £100, and I never got around to saving up for it. So maybe I should buy that as an adult. Now I can do these silly things. I wonder what my girlfriend would have to say about that if I just.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
You have to factor the partner into the equation.
I'm just like, hun, I spent £100 on what? On Lego Star Wars. Why? Because Lego and Star Wars are cool.
Because it's an AT-AT.
Yeah, exactly.
It has 4 legs.
Exactly. It's got 4 legs. It doesn't just have 2 legs. It has 4 legs, hun. Just like
no ground invasion is complete without an AT-AT.
Exactly. And then I'll bring it along to the club, and Harvey, Stanley, and myself will just play with Lego the whole time. We'll just recreate the Battle of Hoth. Perfect.
I think you're going to need a couple more AT-ATs.
Oh no, what a shame. Why can't we go on holiday this year, Tom? Because you spent all your money on Lego Star Wars. That's a conversation that I feel like is up and coming now. Oh well. Anyway, moving swiftly on before I get too more sidetracked by Lego and Star Wars and all of the above. I believe this is Otis's. Was this one you linked over to me?
Possibly. I'm not sure if it is.
Hang on a sec.
Because I know what to expect for when I see Otis's. I'm expecting a giant chicken.
This may not be. Well, I think it is. It does say it's Otis's.
Is this the one that I sent you?
Yes, this is. Did Otis do 2 projects, do you think?
Possibly.
We can have a look at this one all the same.
Yeah.
It's got a smiley. I like the smiley parcel with the weird 3 eyes, like it's an alien. The spooky one, and then like the weird asymmetric cartoon eyes on the special parcel that spawns in. Nicely done, and also giving yourself infinite amount of time as well. Super important. It's funny, like there's something to be said for doing this if you want lots of time in your game, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and just cranking the number up really high, because say at some point you want to re-enable the timer mechanic, then you don't have to rebuild that code, so don't just bin it, Like, just make the number really, really big. And then
That
you can
makes
just
sense.
tweak it again in the future, change your code back, and you've still got a functioning timer mechanic. And definitely tweak it whilst you're testing. There's no point, if you're testing things, there's no point in the game finishing every few seconds and really annoying you. I always crank it right up when I'm testing. Things like that. Some cool new grabbers as well. Okay, I will let you find the other thing you were looking for, and we'll move on, because I know there's irons in here as well, I believe.
Yeah, I did manage to find the other one I was talking about earlier,
Brilliant.
which I'm very excited to show. I may have lost this chicken one, which would be disastrous, but I'm gonna give it a go.
Okay, keep looking for that. Keep look. Well, in fact, look for that in 2 moments and just fill me in on irons one here.
So ions, I kind of love this. I, you know what? I'm just not going to explain it. I'm going to let you have a little crack at it.
Okay. Okay.
It's one of those like very satisfying little changes that makes you go, oh.
Oh, I see. Ah, and the balance has been tweaked and everything to make it doable, manageable. That is very clever.
Yeah. I find it kind of amusing that, the house is right there for the truck to deliver it to, and the truck goes there, to the house, back.
It's all the illusion. It's all the
It's
illusion.
fun.
We talked last week about jumping, didn't we? And jumping over the
Yes.
top of like a thing when you got a top-down 2D view, and how do you convince your player that you're jumping over something? Like, this is again that sort of thing. It's sort of almost comedic, cartoony, trying to convince the player that something is happening when we know it's not. Trying to create that. I think this week's game as well has a somewhat sort of isometric, slightly angled top down, not isometric, sorry, angled top down view. So instead of just being straight down the top, like you're literally hovering straight over with a drone, you're at a sort of angle like you're looking from the top of a building or something. And it's a challenge to then tweak the mechanics within that sort of thing to convince your player that they're looking at it from a different angle. And that's the sort of thing here. Like, it's that little, I don't know, it's kind of like comedic, like it disappears off one side and reappears on the other to do its job, like it's gone miles. What you can't see is there's actually a river underneath the screen down here at the bottom, and they've got to go all the way round and get a ferry to get round to the other side of the house.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
It's just it's a really inefficient transport system in the area. I mean, it is the Antarctic, so you can't expect perfect transport.
No, absolutely not.
But I really like that I really like that the parcel is then going and delivering it. That's very clever. That is a nice little tweak. And that's the sort of ones that, like, I mean, I never think of those when I'm writing up hacks on the code card. Weird little like creative things like that. But it's just a nice little thing that's a good little coding challenge, but also a creative, fun, and different thing to add into your game. And not the sort of thing that, like, you see in lots of games, It's outside the box thinking, if you'll excuse the parcel box related pun.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was unintentional. As I said it, I realised. And regretted my choices. I'm sorry.
You keep saying it's unintentional. Given the name of this week's game, I'm not so sure that you're being honest.
What do you mean? I am not in favour of large amounts of puns. Okay, just because I named this week's game Seal the Deal because it's about a seal doesn't mean I come up with too many puns.
Your puns are punishing.
My puns are terrible. I'll accept that. Hey ho. I find them funny, even if you don't. Even if you don't. Should we have a look at a couple of Pie Club games real quick?
Yes.
I know you sent me one, but I want to show you one real quick. This is Adrian's. I believe, yes, indeed it is. And so he's done a couple of little things. So we were doing cat and mouse in Pie Club, in that Pie Club session. So you have a little cat chasing a mouse around, and you're playing as the mouse running away. We could look at adding things like cheese and whatnot. But so Adrian's only done a couple of sessions of Pie Club with me, but he's done a couple of little things. One, he has made a very nice and clear comment here on line 13, because it's very important to know that this mouse is beautiful, right? Just to clarify, like, it's a nice and clear comment, just making it very, very clear to you how beautiful the mouse is. Just in case there was any doubt, like, it's really important when you go back to read your code, you know exactly what's going on and exactly you fully understand everything, and it's the point of comments. You add in comments so you understand your code. So there can be no doubt now. In fact, I've got the cursor stuck over there. Now, there you go. There can be no doubt about that mouse, whether it's beautiful or not. There's no question anymore. But he also did things like playing around with the score and the lives. The thing that the reason I wanted to show though is, and we have a little look. He's changed the cat so it looks kind of a little bit creepy. And then likewise, the mouse doesn't look, like it's doing well. But then just as a sort of like a...
Like it's doing well.
It doesn't look healthy. That doesn't look like a healthy mouse.
No, that doesn't look like the happiest of mice, no.
Exactly. But then he just in sort of, I don't know, juxtaposition, contrast to that, he's just added a nice smiley sun. So when we play the game, we've got the mouse and the cat, like, going around, and then there's just a nice smiley sun in the middle of the screen. I don't know, it just feels like a nice contrast. If I can create a game over here real quick. The game over effect makes it all the more harrowing. Look at the weird melted mouse.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable.
It's just really weird. The game over effect, changing it there. So no, I just really liked Adrian's game. There's so many different, like, I don't know. I was just weirdly unsettled, but it was all okay at the same time. It's just a little odd little twist to the game, and I really enjoyed it. There's a little difference. We also have, from Pie Club, Sebastian's, I believe.
Yes, this is Sebastian. In my Pie Club, we've been working on your game, Amazing Maze. The Amazing Maze. These puns, Tom. These puns.
What do you mean? I'm morally against puns.
I'm putting in a complaint to HR.
I cannot stand the puns.
Sorry. So yeah, we've been fiddling with tile maps, which is this fantastic way of kind of generating your own levels and creating your own scenery.
Yeah.
And Sebastian has just done a fantastic job
Nice.
on his level here.
That is super, super cool. And is Sebastian in your Monday club? So this looks like it's got stuff that you had a little look at yesterday, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
as you've spotted, we've got a lever and a door from the guided hacks.
I absolutely love the aesthetic here. So not only has he added like is the lava... The lava is walls, so you can't fall in the lava. So this is one of the things I absolutely love about this game engine, and the Pie Club stuff we can do, is we can make incredible tile maps and then have a character wander around it. It's all reminds me of, like, of Pokemon and Zelda and the old Zelda games and all that. Not obviously the new ones where they're all 3D and whatnot. I'm talking like the old school ones, the real ones. I say that like Breath of the Wild isn't one of the best games ever made, but I just absolutely love, like, the tile map stuff you can do, and this is an excellently designed tile map, and like the nuances of the design so that your player knows where they're at. Like, I like also, is that a nether portal at the top there? Do you come in through a nether portal
Of some form? I believe so.
that reminds me of I'm getting Minecraft nether portal vibes. But like the idea that the start is this lighter grey and then it gets gradually less, and when you get to the end you know you're getting to the end because it's lighter grey again. And there are
Yes,
some
there's
dead
nice little
ends.
touches.
Exactly, there are some dead ends which are sort of broken and lets you know that it's a dead end again as well, that sort of thing. It's very, very clever. Some lovely little bits. Anyway, before I get completely, before we look at that way too much, let's actually play the game. So we've also got a very cool looking dino there, a very cool looking dino character.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the sprites that we have here.
This is an absolutely brilliant game, and also well done for Modern Sebastian for working on the lever mechanic as well, because it's a really good one. So we've got dino character running around. I assume the lever's all up. Is the lever all up and running? Should we test
I was
it?
just about to say, I'm not sure if he finished it because
Okay.
he had something going on, so he arrived a little bit late.
No worries.
So he might not have finished that code. It's looking like it was almost there.
Fair enough. I mean, he's done he's done the more time-consuming thing, which is actually working on the assets for the door and the lever and everything. It's not too much code because it's only a little bit of when our player stands on the lever tile, let them press a button. If they press a button, change another tile. So it's a nice little bit of code that I'm sure he can finish off. But I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love it.
Well done, Sebastian.
Indeed. So one more. We have time for one more. Zander's game, I believe.
Yes. I was kind of worried that you were going to be like, that's all the time we have.
Okay.
Because in Zander's game, we have something I have never been asked for since joining the Code Zone. A wood chipper. And Tom, it is great. No need to be concerned.
Oh no, I already No, I already okay. Is this why everything I order doesn't turn up on time?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hang on, so I picked up the parcel and I immediately lost points. Am I not supposed to pick up the parcels?
So we do have bad parcels as well.
Right. Okay.
In this project.
Okay.
There's a good one.
There's a good one. And then I mean, can't get lost if it gets destroyed, I guess.
I think I seem to recall what's just happened there is we might not have deleted the clones for the shreds that have been shot out.
Let's have a little chat
so
about
now
it.
it's battling to make new ones.
There we go. Let's have a chat about this. Okay, so before we disappear, let's have a little chat. And how many clones can you have in Scratch?
Wasn't it something around 300-ish?
It is. It's around 300, thereabouts. So, when you create a clone, there can only be a maximum of 300 clones in your entire game at any one time, not just from one sprite, but from all sprites. And it's to stop your game just catastrophically slowing to a crawl. Like, if you've ever... there are a couple of games that use a lot of clones, and I know some people who have had slower computers have had to turn down the number of clones in their game at any one time, because it can causes that as an issue. And what we got going on here, the problem is once we reach that number of clones, we can't create any more clones. So we're not deleting this clone at the end, but it looks like we are, because we're turning up the ghost effect. So the ghost effect is making it invisible, so we go, oh, that clone must be deleted then. But in actual fact, it still exists somewhere over here. And in turn, because it's still going, it's still ticking away, it's still using Scratch's memory, Scratch's power, because it's ticking away, we can't create any more.
So we just have almost hundreds of invisible wooden shreds just sitting there.
Exactly.
In the middle of the screen.
In fact, if I take this out here, if I take that ghost effect out, let's see it in practice. Just to... There you go. That is why we couldn't spawn any more clones. Because there's just a pile of wood chippings in the middle of the screen. Or parcel chippings, even.
And in fact, now it might just refuse to spawn any more parcels.
There you
that
go.
reason.
Exactly. It can't even now spawn parcels because if we look at the parcels are themselves clones. So all that needs to be done to fix that, I'll add that back in, but all that needs to be done to fix that is just at the end of that clone's life cycle, just whack a delete clone just to really make sure that it's all been dealt with. Nice and simple. Okie dokie. That is probably all we've got time for. We'll be back next week with the with Seal the Deal. I'm sure Ant will complain a little bit more about the number of puns for that game's
You know it.
And I will continue to make pun-related games. Pun-related
Just
game
to spite
names.
me.
Exactly. Punny game names are the way forward. You can't tell me otherwise. You cannot tell me otherwise.
I'm talking to Mary. We need a full HR crackdown. I'm team anti-puns. I'm going to lose my job.
You're too good of a mentor, Ant. The children would riot. The children would demand you back, and they would riot.
Next stream, I will mysteriously not be here. So I'll be like, this week we're covering Seal the Deal. We like that, don't we, Jazz?
Yeah, exactly. Get somebody on who enjoys my puns. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to get rid of you. I'm just going to find somebody who enjoys my puns. Or you could find somebody who hates puns, and you could make the stream about hating on my puns.
We need more on my team featured on the stream.
Absolutely. Let's see if anybody who wants to join the stream. Let's see where they stand. And then see what the streams become from there, whether it's just hatred of the game names or enjoyment. You can as well, just as a little note to the kids, if you ever want to rename your game because you hate the names, if you're in Team Ant for anti-puns, right, you can rename your game by clicking on this bit at the top and just typing in a better name. I don't know, like, come on, Ant, make a better name than Special Delivery if you're so great at names. See, he cracks under pressure. He cracks under pressure. But yeah, if anyone wants to rename their game, they can up at the top. Anyway, on that note, we should go. See you again next week. Thank you very much for joining me, Ant.
I will hopefully see you all again next week.
You will, Ant. You will. Why are you so scared? Just because you don't like my pun doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, no, bye, Ant, go. I'm not that.
Him immediately.
Exactly. I'm not that evil. Not that evil. Not that evil.